Oh, hello, hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Working on my technology, switching back to Restream, and I think it will probably show up. I show 6:01 Eastern on my cell phone, so I take it that some of you will find time this Saturday evening, July 5th, to say hello to your dear old auntie girl. Okay, so here we are. Donzel Cooper, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I would like to thank all of the subscribers. It is free to subscribe to the channel, you guys. I'd like to thank those of you in the bushes, the moderators, and the friends and family club patrons who pay $1.99 a month on a regular basis to help support the channel so that we can share and do other things with others who don't have access to a dear old auntie or nana or grandma or great grandma. Unbiased LLC, hello and welcome. Mike's Chaotic Gardening, thank you for coming. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Oops, it's not a live stream if I don't drop something, but there is not a day in a life that something doesn't fall. Thank goodness it's not me. Because when you get to be 77 years old, and I'm telling God, I'm planning on getting there. I plan to live to 101, as 775 Media says. I was planning on getting to 100. Baby, every day is a little bit different. And if you don't think it is, guess what? Keep living, you guys. Just keep living, as my dad used to say. So I will try to see if I can see the chat on my phone. I see my phone. I don't see anything in the live stream. Oh, give a thumbs up, you guys, if you haven't already. That helps the algorithm allegedly find us and make it possible for us to reach other people. I'm trying to figure out why I can't see the chat. So maybe I will go out of here and go back in because I would like to see when I read it on the screen. It's so much later. I see, like, for example, I see Donzel saying, "Hey, Joanne, Mike, I'm by Yankee's sister." I don't see my sister Joanne. I don't see my hermana Yankee sister on here. My Renaissance grandma. So I don't know. Me no sabe kimasabe, but we will keep going from here, right? Why? Because winners never quit and quitters never win. Maddie Barnum, welcome back. Oh, you're just saying it early, Donzel. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And when a few more of you come in, I want to ask you a question because something came up. I was watching on TV, on other live streams, and actually, I will give you guys a forward, as they say, because everything is changing. There's, even though we try not to be politically involved, or some of us we do, there's a big new spending bill that's been passed for the United States of America that adds, I think, $3 trillion to the budget. The wealthy are getting tax breaks. The rest of us are getting things taken away. But I want to ask you this. How many of you have now, in the past, or in the future plan on owning land, put a one in the chat. I want to see something, and I want to tell you something. I want to share something with you because I have a background in business and in the legal field traditionally in my lifelong career in working. And I see unbiased with a one in the chat. Do any of you plan on owning property in the future, or any of your children or family members? I see 6 of you in here now. I will ask it in the future. Hey, Sissy Joanne Stevens. So, Sissy Joanne Stevens, put a 1 in the chat because I just asked a question. How many of you own property, have ever owned property, or plan to own property in the future? Because I want to tell you now, I have another question. The next question is, and I started doing this. For some of you know, I woke up from a coma 10 years ago and I joined a writing group. One of the reasons I joined the writing group, hey Kelly, I bring it every day. So one of the things we did in the writing group, we practiced writing in cursive. In cursive. So this is not the notebook I use for that in my writing group. And we would pick different topics and we would take 5-10 minutes to write about the topic. But we wrote in cursive. That was one of the things. Why? Because number one, cursive is not being taught in many of the schools. How many of you put a 2 in the chat? How many of you read and write in cursive? Or if you put a 2 in the chat. If you have family members, especially grandchildren, great grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever, if nobody in your family reads or writes in cursive, put a 9, just 99999. 9 means like you're checking out. So Mike, unbiased. Michael, I see you. I see you over there. I bring it every day because I want to tell you something. They're not teaching cursive in the schools now. One of the things I learned going back to writing in cursive exclusively in my notebooks about 10 years ago is that that's one of the brain functions, like doing puzzles or other things that help stimulate the brain into learning and retaining things. Guess what, you guys? My grandchildren do not know how to write or read in cursive. I'm not putting her out there, Nieta, and you know I would never do that. The reason I'm asking is because me, number one, I will be 77 years old. I always rub it in. I always rub it in November. Proud to have lived so long. But guess what? My original birth certificate is written in cursive. All of the old deeds, if you own property, you want to do a title search yourself, you how many people can afford to pay a title company? If you can scrape together the down payment, if you can inherit family property, how do you research? How do you teach your grandchildren how to research what their rights are? I was watching some show on YouTube. I watch YouTube because I'm too cheap to pay for cable. When I moved in this retirement apartment and downsized, I think I started off paying like $100, $75, $200, $230 something per month for cable. But okay, let me, somebody has told me how to do this. So I'm going to take that down. Um, and for those of you who are content creators, if you want to drop your link, there's how you do it. Exclamation mark GQUAT. You don't need the exclamation. I mean, you don't need capital letters, but guess what? It's difficult to see how to, the lower G and the lower Q look kind of alike. I also darkened my writing today with the help of Dolores. I talked to her today. She's not in the chat because she's busy, but we do check in. So going back to cursive, when you learn how to, when you practice writing in cursive, I don't think this notebook has a lot of cursive. Let me check and see. I write so big now. No, not. Oh, yeah. Okay, so like for example, you see this page? Hey, Maria Graham. How you doing, Cherry? Thank you for coming and welcome. So this page, I think I wrote intentionally. It says familytreemaker.com. And it says to help ensure family history remains accessible to family members and become part of your legacy and added to for generations, designated successors. So I joined this group and I have my family tree on a drive because in the future, who knows how you will do it. And it says create next of kin certificates. But some of the things I did is to remind me that, you know, all the old deeds, when I research even my own original birth certificate, I don't know if my sister Joanne Stevens, I know her birth certificate says, and my sister looks just like me. We have the same mom and dad. Guess what? It says that my sister, mother, Negro, or colored, whatever the word was back then. I'm saying that because this is a holiday weekend for most of the country, the 4th of July, which is when the United States allegedly became free. Those of us who celebrate Juneteenth also know that although the Emancipation Proclamation was passed January 1st, 1863, word news didn't reach Texas until June 19th, 1865, when the rest of us became free. So you can celebrate, we can celebrate whatever we want. I celebrate having a day off when most of my family doesn't have to work and just being together. I actually have a great granddaughter whose birthday is tomorrow, Sydney Beans, and she will be 20 years old. But I have 6 living generations. I don't know how my generations will, if I had allegedly something to leave to them in the world and somebody tried to steal it or somebody forged a deed, many of you need to check because guess what? Your credit reports are being stolen by countries, people, places, things, by the powers that be. I was talking to a couple members in the family. No, 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 Hershey. You heard me say, Auntie Joanne. Hershey, stop. And the powers that be. How do you check on your own information? I was hacked, my credit report, I wouldn't say about a year and a half ago, 2 years. So I just froze my credit. Hey, Barb Brownlee, thanks for coming. You just finished shampooing your hair. God bless you and thank you. I just finished doing mine and wetting it all up and stuff. For those of you who saw from last week, it shriveled up a lot when it's wet. When I go to my lock doctor, LOC doctor for my hair, It looks longer. It's not a matter of long, short, whatever. I showed you guys Thursday a picture of me that I thought was cute to death or cute to pieces when I got my an advanced degree in law from the University of West LA, and I had the cutest little bob, like Yankee Sister, but I think Yankee Sister's was longer than mine. Hershey, Auntie Joanne says hello, Hershey. Auntie Joanne, do you want her to take you for a walk? He's sitting there staring at the door. I swear this dog speaks English. And his daughter, that my sister Joanne Stevens owns, she even knows if you spell TREAT because they start acting a fool when they want one. But going back to deeds, birth certificates, anything that went back to not even 1900. I was born in 1948. And somebody said something is buffering. I don't know who's buffering, but I don't think it's here. I don't think it's here. Let me see if I can scroll up. Scroll up. Scroll up. Okay. Oh, Maria Graham, that's you buffering again, my dear. It is not I, said the blind man. So, yeah, learning cursive, teaching cursive, and not only that, it's like playing games or putting puzzles together. This is one of the things, and I don't write cursive very often, but when I dropped out of this writing group and I started writing things, it was like, okay, so a cursive S is like this, a cursive capital G is like this, but I often do it like a printed G. Why? Because we don't remember cursive. I think that that is something that you should. Oh, Mike's chaotic gardening says, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm good." At least some of the time, or at least on the live stream. So, you guys, I have been back in Connecticut for a little over 2 weeks, trying to catch up. My garden still is not planted. One of you in here contacted me and said, "Oh, I'm finished harvesting." What? I don't even have my stuff in the ground. Oh, my red onions are still up there waiting to go out. I have a lot of stuff. I should have watered today, put a little water in Friday. Pedaling, treading water as hard as I can, but I'm just doing the best I can, and that's all we can do. So, those of you who are new, what does GQUAT stand for? GQUAT, Hershey. Excuse me, sir. And Mr. Hirsch is legally blind. He waits for me to go walk around him. Most dogs will move if they see you coming or lead the way. He waits for me to move. I trip over him. I accidentally, the other day, he was lying down. He has a long, fluffy tail. He's a Shih Tzu. And he was supposed to be a show dog. So I leave his hair a little bit longer than other people who have pets and have Shih Tzus because he's never seen a Shih Tzu with short hair. His mother was a show dog. His dad was. I just wanted one that was brown, and he was the first one that came up. So I got him. Then I got his wife. She's gone now. He's 12 years old as of June 12th, and we're just kicking it in our old age. I take him wherever I go. My mother used to say, if my kids aren't welcome, I'm not welcome. And my mother had 6 of us, and her and daddy took us everywhere, 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 everywhere. And when you saw mom, you saw dad. Mike says, I'm going to be in the bushes. Wife wants me to help plant flowers and grill burgers. Yay! How many wives can you have in your religion, Mike? I'll settle for a burger. I'll settle for flowers, and she can have everything else. Maybe we could timeshare that. No, I'm just kidding you, Mike. Not nothing personal. You're my nephew. Unbiased is laughing. Miss Shirley OG Gardner says hello. I see you guys. Oh, and you know what? I never could figure out. Well, a lot of people are planting, I guess, their fall garden here in Connecticut. I guess because the growing season is so extended, and Yankee Sister knows I go to a special farm to get collards, and I buy the whole stalk. Just like I try to in the grocery store buy organic, although allegedly it doesn't matter one way or another because you don't know what really happened before you got it. But once you get things home or plant them, you can make them organic. And good luck with that because the critters they are out there. I have one of my neighbors who has a farm nearby in a nearby city, and he came over to me. He says, "I was looking for you. I needed your help." I said, "Well, I was in Arizona with my sister for a month, a little over a month." I said, "Oh, okay." So I said, "Well, put me back on your route." I used to get organic farm eggs from him, and I would get a regular allotment. How many of you, this is just something that popped up in my brain, how many of you ever had a milkman? Back when I was growing up, we had a milkman. Put a look, put a 5 in the chat if you had a milkman. I used to try to be the first one up with my little greedy self. And I live in we grew up in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut, Auntie Joanne Stevens and me. And then going south along the East Coast, there was like above us was Massachusetts, beside us Rhode Island, and then going south would be New York, New Jersey, Delaware, going over the Delaware Memorial Bridge, Maryland. We used to go down south. You remember the milkman in Mississippi? We had a milkman. I used to, oh, Miss Shirley said the milkman, juice man, eggs. And yes, there was somebody that delivered all this. What are all these people doing for a living now? You know, all those people were not equipped to go in offices or whatever. But I used to try to be the first one up in the morning because there was a little metal box outside of our door, right? And Miss Shirley OG says 5. Auntie Joanne says 5. And the milk will be placed in there like, oh, dark 100 in the morning. But on the top of the bottle, there would be like a top and then like a little gooseneck and then a little funny shaped thing. But at the top, the cream, like they say, cream always rises to the top. Well, I would try to be the first one up in the morning and get the cream off. Guess what? The fat is still settling on my body. Still settling on my body, y'all. Still settling on my body. Oh, Miss Shirley. No, you didn't go there. The number man. Uh, the number man. Oh, I have to show this. Oh, where did I want to show this. Okay. Because my sister Joanne Stevens, the milkman in Mississippi, we had those. We had an Iceman in Connecticut because we were really young and lived. My parents got married when they were 17 and 21. My mother had 6 children by the time they were 27. We never wanted for anything. We never worried about whether our rent would be paid. My dad worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs. My mother had a catering service. Auntie Joanne and I would work with her. And we would go to serve the very wealthy people in like Greenwich, Connecticut, all the New York super wealthy. And my mother would make the food. Auntie Joanne and I would go, and then in high school we spent all the money on major reds, brownies, Girl Scouts, whatever. So my mother said, "Oh, okay, hey Melanie Taylor, thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome." Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. So Auntie Joanne and I used to go with mommy on these catering jobs. Daddy would not let us, at least not me, work when I was in high school. He said, "Your job is to go to school. Your job is to be on the honor roll. Your job is to help around the house and help with your brothers and sisters." I am the eldest of six. So Auntie Joanne and I, oh, Miss Shirley said the insurance man. Oh, we had all of that. Oh my gosh. And I just want to tell you, my dad was 6'4" or 6'3" and a half and slender. He had a painting business and a construction business. He had a painting and trucking business, and he had two big dump trucks, and he had a contract with the city of Stamford, Connecticut, when they were tearing down all the old buildings, all the old everything, so they could make new way for all of the big businesses like Swiss Bank, which is renamed, all these big mega businesses that were moving from New York to Connecticut. So Daddy had a contract for that. His one of his first jobs when he with mommy were really young, he worked as a maintenance man at a printing company. You know what? He never quit that job. Ever, ever, ever. Even with his own businesses. And he saved his money. Oh, and then he did landscaping on the weekend. He would take mommy and all his kids, raking leaves, doing all this stuff. So Melanie Taylor's saying, Joanne. So, but Miss Shirley said about the number man, LOL. My grandmother paid lottery. So did my grandmother, our maternal grandmother, and so did my mom. And I remember a terrible story, and where we lived in an apartment building. At one point, we moved to an apartment building that was 64 units. There were eight apartments on the first floor, and then going up to the eighth floor, an elevator and everything. And at that time, your rent was based on your income. So daddy would show his check from the night job, and he would work all these other jobs to take care of us. We had the best clothes from the best stores. We were talking about all the men that Miss Shirley said he had a tailor. And guess what? Those of you who have read the Bible, the King James Version or whatever, there was a Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So Daddy had, hey, bad body, not so fit. You not old. I got clothes your your age, youngin. A baby groundhog ate munch on your kale, beet greens. Oh no, started getting your metal raised bed to eat on your collards. Oh, we caught one, took him for a ride 15 miles away a couple years ago. And guess what? He made his way back. He made his way back. And bad body, not so fit. I don't know where you started. I've seen you lately. I always give the thumbs up. On my TV, I don't always get back. But brother man, you looking kind of fine. Kind of fine. Oh, do you guys know that they eat groundhogs? Yep. Mommy said that back in the day that the people allegedly cooked groundhogs with wine in them in Pennsylvania. One state over from you, Miss Shirley. So I'm just saying. So I want to tell you guys a funny, not so funny story. So this 8-story apartment building that we lived in, there was one across the street, sort of, kind of, and one up about a block. So we lived on the first floor on the right hand side. And say, Joanne, no traps for dare. They got a trap for dare. It's called this finger right over here. Pew pew. So my dad was a hunter and a fisherman. We had our own boat. So, oh, I was telling you about the number man. So my grandmother wrote some numbers on a piece of paper, and I still don't understand how this goes. In Connecticut, you can go to the lottery place. It's legal now. And then you could play a 3-number lottery. You could put a C for a combination. You could put a something, something, but I don't understand. The numbers go 6 ways. If it's 3 different numbers, it goes blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I still don't understand. And now that they raised the lottery tickets to $5, guess what? I don't play anymore. Maybe I'll start saving up because there's Mega Millions, Powerball, all that. So, Bad Body says, hello, everybody. So, oh, my sister allegedly has a story about daddy trapping in opossum. Mommy cooked it. I saw it when it came in. I saw the grease and pan. Allegedly, my sister, with her lips that she kissed her mother with. Oh, Bad Body says I try. Um, allegedly, I don't eat wild meat. I just started eating deer about 10 years ago on the North Carolina property because if I let them hunt on my property, they would give me a tenderloin and at least one ham. And my mother likes tenderloin. Oh, and all the Black Angus farmers in the area, I would go to them and tell them, oh, my mom's coming. Well, she doesn't like eating chewy things. So can I get some oxtail and some tenderloin, a couple steaks? And this one farmer, cattle farmer, that my husband and I used to deal with, my second husband and I, he would say, okay, Miss Panky. I said, well, I'm on a budget. Cry, cry, cry. And he would say, is $5 a pound too much? I'm like, no, that'll be okay. But all I have is $100. I would get 20 pounds of the best, best, best beef. And it would be marked for family only because they didn't sell this meat to the public. But going back to the number man, Miss Shirley, I'm going to tell mommy the story because since I've been back from Arizona with my sister, I've been going to see her every month. I mean, every week. And I'm going to see mommy tomorrow and bring her some calf liver that my friend upstairs got. Some collard greens, the last of the ones in the freezer. I baked a sweet potato, even though that doesn't match the other stuff. But I'm gonna make her a good meal tomorrow and go spend some time since I'm not sure how many visitors she had for the weekend, but she will have one tomorrow, and there are different family members moving around. So we go and we visit. So going back to childhood, they wrote these numbers, but then they paid 3-digit numbers on a piece of paper, and they could see me go. We weren't allowed to go hang out or go anywhere, do anything. My my mom and grandmother could see me leave our apartment. It was a 2-story apartment, and go up to the number lady's house and give her the paper and the little $1 bills, whatever. And then my grandmother hit the number. We went up there, or she went up there to get the money. And guess what? She said I didn't bring the money. Little lying piece of work. Lying piece of work. So yeah, that was just the story. Oh, I did not eat that opossum, sissy. I don't eat wild meat. I don't eat opossum. Oh, God, I'm gonna spit up now. Oh, I have GERDs anyway. It ain't gonna take much to make me spit up. Ew, ew. You ate it, and mommy to everybody. I did not eat no opossum. Opossum. So, and then going back to the other story about daddy being 6'4" and slim, he couldn't buy clothes on the rack. If he did, oh, and he did not like you weren't buying what do you call it? Wally World pants for him, except unless it was to work in one of those brand names or something or some tools, but he would tell you those pants, I'm not wearing those. Take those back. Get your money back. Daddy liked the best of the best of the best. And he had to have custom tailored clothes. So his suits, his pants had to be cuffed, such a thing. He worked. Auntie, you love that jacket I have on. Thank you. I've had it a while, but I like it. I take it out every now and again. One time I couldn't fit it. I did not eat no opossum. So see, I did not. I did not. But now it fits back again because I went to my sister's house. Prayers across the miles to all those impacted in those terrible. I am so sorry about that. About all the people lost in the floods in Texas. Let's have a moment of silence for all the people who've lost their lives through any means, through the shooting, whatever. If you don't believe in God, don't pray. Just let's have a moment of silence. And that is so, 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 so sad. All the children that were lost, you know, it's just really sad. It's just really sad. So let's just keep on living. I did not eat no opossum. I'm taking that off, Sissy. I did not eat empty opossum. I saved your life, and this is the thanks I get for it. If you guys wonder what I'm talking about, oh, those of you who are content creators, put an exclamation mark GQUAT. Before we moved to the apartment building I just told you about, we lived in an apartment building on the south end of Stamford, Connecticut. And oh, let me put this for those of you who want to know something about the channel or may be here for the replay. I am a product of 8 generations. There are 6 living generations now. My name is Ellen Pankey. I am a daughter, sister, great great grandmother, 6 living generations, chief family storyteller, content creator, writer. My email is ellenpankey@gmail.com. The business name is GQUAT and Ellen Penny Pankey on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn. I'm retired. I don't talk about that very much. And if you'd like to help support the channel, it is $GQUAT 1313. So let me see the comments that I've missed. Hey, Lisa, Awkward Quilter, GA. Thank you for coming and welcome, 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 Lisa. Miss Shirley dropped her link. Lisa, drop your link because we're getting ready. Oops. No, the ruler I bought, I won a giveaway on the Awkward Quilters channel, and it was $10. So I put it with some other coupon, and I bought a 3-inch ruler, Unbiased LLC, because some things I like to use a smaller ruler. I often make 2.5-inch jelly roll strips. Barb Brownlee says, smack that awesome button for this awesome live. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you kindly. And I would like to remind each of you, do what you love and love what you do. You know, not all artists, sewists, whatever, Not all of them. Not everybody sews, but everybody eats food. Everybody eats good food. Y'all, the tariffs are coming back. There was a 90-day pause. Alert somebody. Hello, hello, hello. Whether you need to stack up on rice, pasta, olive oil, they have things that will last indefinitely, canned meats. We don't know what's going to happen. Honey, Jegs, the honey slanger. So let's go over and do a little something, something, because today is July 5th. Do you realize Christmas is coming? Those of you who celebrate Christmas or just family holidays, just giving to your family, I make all my gifts. And even when I make them, I get ready to drop them off. They're like, oh, mom, that's okay. The next time you come, I don't drive a lot. I can drive. My bones hurt. Everything hurts. And I just don't like to. And I have access to handicapped transportation for the elderly. Because y'all don't want us up in the road getting, and it's not funny, getting the brakes mixed up with the gas. All stuff happens when you get old. Just keep living. Just keep living, y'all. So let's go over to sewing machine because I started on Thursday making some twosies of something. I have several requests for mug rugs. My favorite style mug rug is 6.5 inches square. I have a special 6.5 inch ruler over there because there are so many ways to format them to make them. And if you put a 9 patch of 2.5 inch squares, two and a half, 2.5, 2.5, when you take the seams out, you end up with a 6.5 inch square like this. I just happened to see it. This is one that my sister Joanne made. Let me take this. Let me take this banner down. I'm gonna hide this. Why? Because I'm going over to the machine. And I really thought this was cute because there's a little girl over here holding a chicken in her hand. It reminds me of when I've lived off grid in the country. I have had chickens, ducks, pigs, one cow. Then somebody told the kids that we were going to eat them. Muscovy ducks. My ducks were so fat they couldn't even fly. But anyway, my sister Joanne Stevens made this block. I don't know if you can see that it's pieced. She makes hers so well matched. Sometimes you can't see where they're seamed together. So this is a 6.5 inch one, but you can use it sometimes, put a tea kettle on it, or the Michael, y'all told me to get an electric pot tea kettle that turns off automatically. I did. It will actually fit on one of those. I can use it for a quickie pot holder. Hey, Miss Shirley, did you see how fast I almost got up? Because, girlfriend, I've been out there in that garden trying to squat down on those chairs. And, yep, I've been doing my sit-ups, bad body, not so fit. I could do a few more sit-ups. I could be up to a frugal oven in the morning, and I do. I exercise every day. Huh. What? I don't know what it is. I'm checking. I get tired. I get tired more often than now than ever. MRG, my Renaissance grandma, Sister Vanessa, thank you for coming. So let's see what we are going to do. Sometimes I lift this up. Sometimes I don't. I'm cleaning this table off because I will be allegedly putting my cutie breeze frame up on Monday, and I need this whole table to put it on. the measurements are, what is it? I don't know, but I bought this table especially for it. I know that it's at least 59 inches long. I'm just snipping these. This is a little rag I start sewing on. It's just some people use leaders and enders. And I was on some of the other sewing and quilting chats, and they were talking about different things in sewing, but you guys need to prep up on everything. That's the way we grew up. My sister Joanne Stevens said, Sissy, you remind me of mommy and daddy. I go to the store with two things on my list, and I end up bringing home like 10 shopping bags. So these are twosies that I'm clipping apart that I sewed on Thursday. And I'll show you why, because when I sew a bunch of these together, as I was saying, a 9 patch will make exactly a 6.5 inch square. So I'm cutting all these open. If I don't see you for a minute, I will be back. I will be back. I will be back. Oh, my sister, the ingrate, telling that story about the opossum. I saved her life, you know. When we lived at the south end of Stamford, Connecticut, there was a flood. The the floods in Texas kind of brought it back to mind, but they weren't anything like that. They were not over the tops of buildings where people floated away. There was a bad hurricane named Hurricane Hazel. I want to think it was in the 1950s. That might have been the one that my sister fell in. My sister Joanne Stevens. We've talked about it, and I said, Sissy, how did you fall in that water? She said she was looking at it, and then something happens. She won't come up live. She won't help me tell the family stories. She just loves me, lets me come to her house for a month at a time and do stuff. But yeah, my sister fell in a flood and the hurricane. She was bobbing around in the water, and I knew that it was over my head. I don't know if I could swim then. I know I swim now well enough. I would jump in the water and save her. I don't know if you guys saw a cruise ship where a child fell over and the father jumped in the water to get the child, and the cruise ship had to go back to get them both out. But Auntie Joanne fell in the water, and I knew I couldn't go upstairs. Mommy can't swim. Daddy swims like a shark. My brothers swim like sharks. My children swim like sharks. But anyway, Joanne was in the water, and I went next door and got a neighbor who I assumed was tall enough to stand in there and get her out. And I saved her life. And then she tells about that nasty opossum. I did not eat it. I did it. I did it. I did not eat no nasty opossum. I did it, Sissy. I didn't. And then she says it was good. Ew. Oh, you slipped off the painted steps, my sister said. Oh, you know what, you guys? A lot of paint is slippery. And this was a rental place that we had. It wasn't like the kind of paint my dad used. He used Sherwin Williams and Dutch Boy paint in his painting business. Always the best of the best. So, what? I saved your life, and all I get in return is you telling people I ate some nasty opossum. I didn't. Daddy had a boat, you guys, and my sister Joanne had a finicky stomach, and so did I. I can't stand the smell of the fuel that they use on boats. It's like, I want to say diesel fuel mixed with oil or something. It's terrible. I used to get sick from the smell of gas when my parents used to fill up our car. We used to go riding every Sunday, And we go on long family rides all up New York State, all the scenic places. My mother can tell you where all the movie star houses are in Connecticut. Diana Ross, blah, 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 all around, like the Mercedes dealerships, all the big fancies. I did it. I did not. It was not good. I didn't eat no stinking opossum. Hey, Sherry Youth, my quilting world. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. I'm happy to see you.
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to download one.
What? Siri, get off my phone. What the what? Did you hear that? I did not invite this biddy in here. Ugh. Ugh. You didn't see an app for what? That is so rude and disrespectful. And when I told her to get off my phone, she had been taping a whole paragraph. I have never used her to tell me what time it was, what time to wake up. Why is she in my life? Go away. So yeah, that's my sister and me growing up in Connecticut. Shirley just she was a her grandfather was a house painter and added sand to make them steps non-slip. Yep, this was not none of any of our family property. So I don't know. She was probably out there making up lies about an opossum why she slipped. They say something helpful to your tongue for lying, whatever. So these are, you guys, I'm just being silly. I love my sister to pieces. She's been my best friend, Joanne Stevens, ever since mommy brought her home from the hospital. But that was the second time I saved her life because she was crying. And my mom went downstairs to make her bottle. I didn't want to see my little sister crying. So I've always been ginormous compared to her, ginormous. And my brother, Bill, who was younger than Joanne, it was like he was born bigger than her. So she was always smaller than the either of us. And yeah, so my mother went downstairs to heat up the baby bottle and my baby was crying. So I picked her up from wherever she was, a dresser drawer, the crib, I don't know, the bed. Poor Bradley always tells me I'm hilarious. This is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So I picked the baby up. I went to the steps and mommy, yes, Penny, here's your baby. Your baby was crying. What? I had her baby in my hands at the top of the steps. My little temper tantrum having self. And mommy said, back up. Sherry Yurton, my quilting world, is saying, hello, 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 hello. And I backed away from not the crap table, the stairs. I know mommy tore my little butt up. She 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 would tear me up now, allegedly. Allegedly. My mother would tear me up now. Well, she's just mad because I taught her how to be a parent. She was 17 years old. Daddy was 21. They didn't know nothing about raising kids. I had to show them. I had to practice. I was the one who took algebra and geometry and all those hard classes. And they made me get A's and B's. Else, guess what? I was punished. You know what would happen if I got a C on my report card? My hair was long then. I had to wear my hair braided until the next report card came out. Oh, I had to get my hair braided for punishment. And when my sisters and brothers came home from school, who had to teach them that? I remember my brother Bill went to this prep school in New Hampshire, New Hampton, New Hampshire. This block doesn't look right. When You sew, and this is just barely off, just barely off. This is 2.5 inches square. I just want to show you something. You see this? This is just a tiny bit off. This little bit of black, but I can tell that it's off. They're saying allegedly. You guys are funny. I had to teach them how to parent, how to do homework, algebra, whatever. They didn't get to all those years that they put us through. All those years. But I'm thankful that they did. My parents didn't go to college. I was with the first generation of children in my branch of the Pankey family or the Thomas family that went to college. And my parents worked hard and they sent all six of us to college. But that was my job. That was my job. Child abuse? No, I didn't say that. Mother, we'll discuss this tomorrow. She probably would have popped me in my mouth. Back in the days, you didn't talk back. Hey, MB Heritage Farms. Ain't seen you in a while. How y'all doing down there? I'm good. I'm good. I was out Arizona and now I'm all late planting my little crops up Connecticut. But, you know, it is what it is. And I'll get in where I fit in. So what I'm doing is I have these 2.5 inch blocks. Sewing them together. I did twosies. Now I'm doing threesies because I'm going to have to make some 6.5 inch 6.5 inch mug rugs. They used to call them coasters. Oh, there's one already up there. So I'm gonna put this there, 2.5 inch straight stitch, and let's just go with this. So how are you guys doing? NB Heritage Farm, I would do anything to get some of those North Carolina sweet potatoes, some of those collard greens from that red clay soil down there. My neighbor that I used to get the chickens from, I told you, or I started telling you, I saw him the other day and I asked him to put me back on his route to get some these are just 2.5 inch blocks. I'm just making sure that no two colors are next to each other to put me back on his route to get fresh eggs. I used to get like a dozen every week. That was too many. I read that what the recommendations are for protein is that you eat at least 4 eggs per week. And when I had my own chickens though, I was eating eggs every day, but they were free range chickens. So I know that I did not have a cholesterol issue. Why is this one only two? I'm doing threesies. Okay, so I will just keep sewing these because I make all of the family presents. I have requests for 4 mug rugs from the subscription family on YouTube. And I am working towards MB Heritage Farm is saying, howdy, y'all. Oh, guess what? MB Heritage Farms. I have pictures of my sister, Auntie Joanne, the delicate one who never played in dirt, never collected worms and caterpillars and brought them in the family house. Only me. Only me. And I have pictures of her in North Carolina on one of the family horses. And she was like, where's the brakes on this thing? And my husband was holding on to the reins. And Her and her husband used to come to North Carolina and visit. I just loved. I love being on the farm. But guess what? You have you can't live on a 4 acre farm with chickens and cows and ducks and 8, 9, 10 Connie Corso Italian Mastiffs and copperheads and moccasins and all by yourself. You either pay a fortune, you have to have help, but you can't do it. Now that I'm almost 77, I live in an 800 square foot handicapped apartment. I can't take care of this. I have a helper that comes 3 days a week to help with the cleaning. They're reaching on top of things. You see all these things? They're 6 feet tall. Look at the jars up there. Look at all the stuff that needs to be dusted. All the books, all the stuff. I can't do it by myself. I'm just happy. I love being with my family. I love being with my friends. But guess what? This is like the little kid. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much. I will. MB Heritage Farms is going to send me some champion collard seeds. 60 days maturity, but it's late for slips. We don't even plant them when you can ship red clay. That's so funny. They have a different taste, you guys. There's a farm nearby that I go and I buy them. And this year, when I get some from the farm, I'm going to cut the bottoms off like I do the collards and see if I can get a jump start. But MB Heritage Farm said he's going to help his auntie girl out. Thank you so mwah, so much. And I used to go to North Carolina State Fair every year. And for those of you who don't live in the country, never been in the country, so this is what a lot of the chicken breeders do. They breed the chickens so that they get new, ongoing stock, and it's not just the same food over and over and over again. And I had some friends that were breeders. Then after the North Carolina State Fair, they would keep, say, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 dozen eggs, put them in the incubator. Some of them had incubators that were giant incubators that would do tons of eggs at a time, but they would sell the hens and especially the roosters. So if somebody like me wanted to buy some, we would buy them and have our own stock. So a lot of my livestock was from the North Carolina State Fair. My family didn't even know I had chickens and ducks and all that stuff over there. I was a retirement farmer. Oh, you enter your paintings in the North Carolina State Fair for a decade until they move way out in Amish country. Well, you know what? North Carolina is where, oh, I forgot what county, near Henderson, North Carolina. I was retired and I was 66 years old before I took my first art class, and I became a really good painter. I don't know if you guys can see up there a picture of somebody in the water. I have a couple. Hold on, you guys. I didn't put it in the state fair, and Connecticut. Connecticut does not have Connecticut does not have a state fair, but the nearest county is one called Durham, just like Durham, North Carolina State Fair. But here is a drawing. Let me take this off. Here is a drawing I made of a pair of my Timberland boots. Had worn them to the art class because I also took a carpentry class at night, and I had my Ford F-150 in my boots, and I would go to the lumber yard and pick up lumber, and the other guys would help me unload it. And here is a watercolor for those of you who haven't seen it of part of the shoreline, North Carolina, the eastern coast. The jet stream used to come up along there, and there are a lot of beaches. In fact, the lighthouse in North Carolina is farthest east of any lighthouse in the United States because the shoreline goes so far out. MB Heritage Farms, that's a good job. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just doing what I love, and I love what I do. So I'm still sewing twosies to threesies. I'm going to sew a few more of these because I actually have one family birthday tomorrow, but she's not going to want a coaster. She has a baby. I might make a burpee, that you put over your shoulder, or I can get. Bob Brownlee says beautiful watercolor. Thank you, thank you. So what I like about watercolor, it's so easy to clean up. Thank you, Donzel. Thank you, Barb Brownlee. And if you can paint with watercolors, you can paint anything. I don't know, but that bookcase, I don't know if you can see that basket above there. That basket is actually a copper basket, pure copper. It's like it has a patina or patina, as they say. Hey, Nikki, the Everyday Life Oven OCD-ish chick. That was a copper egg basket from some country in Europe, I think some castle, and Auntie Joanne bought it for me, and that's what I used to collect my eggs in. You guys, other countries don't put eggs in the refrigerator every day, nor do you wash them, because it removes a membrane. And if you have a little place for them to lay them, they will be relatively clean. And then you can wash them before you cook them or break the eggs. But that was an egg basket. But below there is something sideways, and it's a color mixing chart. Because if you mix the wrong colors together, guess what? You end up with muddy colors. So with watercolor, you have to be aware of what you're mixing. You have to clean your brushes, and you have to use special watercolor paper. I remember I bought watercolor paper from the school. One sheet back then would be like $20. And then you would fold it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then tear it. Then you make the next section back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, so that you get a natural edge on your watercolor paper. But I had stopped painting for a while. Actually, F.R. Humphrey and I met and became friends some years ago because I was legally blind for a while. Then I got my sight back in one eye, but my depth perception was off. So we went on another channel to paint together and do art. I hadn't taken my brushes out in a really long time. Up there, that's where that metal tin thing is. On the side of there, you'll see a round thing. Those are for my watercolor brushes or my acrylic brushes. And the other one is for my oil paint brushes. Some of those brushes can be quite expensive. Quite expensive. So I kept them separated. And the oil paint, sometimes those take like six months to dry, the paint. So the brushes, and you had to clean them with special cleansers and then wash them with soap and water to get them clean. So it was quite a process, and I kept them separate. But I plan to paint again. Thank you, Donzel Cooper. Hi, Nikki Nick. Nikki Nick. So I just have a few more of these twosies to sew together into threesies. Why? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I was talking to a subscriber today, and she was talking about how she liked purple. And I said, I do like purple. Some of you who are new in our other channels, I didn't, we were talking about, I didn't, well, Unbiased already knows it. She knows I'm not copying off of her. My signature when I was legally blind was three purple hearts. I also like elephants, but I gave all of my elephants away when I downsized, except one. I don't think I don't think you can see the elephant back there, but his, or maybe you can, but I'll just keep sewing. His trunk is pointed to the door. Why? Because allegedly that's where the money comes in. And it's supposed to bring good luck. Buenas suertes, whatever you believe in. Do you? Look at me with all these strings on my shirt. When I was in North Carolina, I used to sew a lot. I used to teach a lot. I belonged to several quilt guilds. And then sometimes we would be sewing all day, quilting all day. And I would go to the Walmart in that town because it was 32 miles away. And that was the nearest Walmart to where I lived out there in the country. Yes, I have lived off grid, y'all. I have lived off grid, had to dig my own well, had to have electricity pulled, all the stuff, all the stuff. I just have a few more twosies, but I enjoy talking to you guys. You keep me company while I'm working, working. So I have a few more. I'm not putting these two blacks together, black squares. I'm going to keep on going. Okay, so I'm trying to see what you guys are saying. Okay, why don't let me see the chat? Oh, and that stupid Siri, I had to tell her off the other day. Tell her off. Then I said, why are you listening? I've never asked you to set my clock, set my timer, do anything. Why are you snooping on my life? And then I may have or may not have said a bad word allegedly, and I told her to shut her butt down. And guess what? She told me she couldn't do that. Well, why couldn't she find somebody else's life to go annoy? Because I was about sick of her, but I'm still working on my Christianity. Lord knows I am. Lord knows I go to PTSD counseling every Tuesday. It's working most of the time. Allegedly. Allegedly. But I try. I do the best I can. So I don't know if you guys see. I just have a few more of these. If you stick with me. Oh, and I decided that going forward, I will be I will be doing. Well, I try to do something every month anyway. I will try to do a giveaway every month. I usually do at least one. So for July, I'm not going to do it today because I don't have anything ready, but I'm going to do a fabric postcard. Why? Because you guys can frame it, use it on the wall, or use it for a mug rug, whatever you want. They're 4 inches by 6 inches. Oh my gosh. I'm not breastfeeding, I'm breastfeeding strings. Miss Shirley says, you can't give me an Alexa, a Siri. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You want to hear something funny? I have to put this up. You want guys to see this part. So I was sitting there, and my granddaughter braids hair professionally when she's not working at her full time job. And she tells me, she says, Nana, I asked Siri to call you. And she said, Siri, call Nana. You know what that little fresh behind Siri said? Siri said, call Nana? I don't even know your Nana. As a and she had some neck in her voice. You know what I mean? She had some of that little neck in her voice. And she said, I don't even know your Nana. As a matter of fact, I don't even know you. You need to go in your phone and program it so that I know who you are. Well, I'm not going to tell you what Sharita said. Oh, allegedly. But I'm like, oh, Lord. Anything to mess with a person's religion, right? Anything. So you guys are saying hello to each other. I just have a few more of these. And I know why I have these colors out, because some of my family members like things to match. Not me. I like stuff like this. Like this shirt. I mean, this shirt has turquoise and black and white and red and purple and lavender and black and green. That's my style, just for no reason at all. So I'm doing this one by one. Why? Because I'm not going to lick my fingers and separate them. When you cut fabrics with a rotary cutter, they I'm moving that so that you guys can usually see. Sometimes the layers stick together. So I'm just making sure I'm only sewing one by one as much as possible. But if that ever happens to you and you have two stuck together, guess what? Just cut one of them off. No biggie. No, no big problem. No big problemo. So now what I'm going to do when I get these threesies together, I may or may not press the seams, but I will start attaching them to three squares to three squares, right? But I don't know which direction. Normally, the quilt police, when you learn how to quilt and you learn the rules, and it's not so they're trying to be fancy or show off. You know why they do it? Because, it's like science, years of experience has shown them that if you do things a certain way, it comes out better. Comes out better. For example, if you're cooking, they say, for example, if you're making a roux, whether it is for mac and cheese, whatever, they say like 2 tablespoons of fat to 2 tablespoons of flour to get a good consistency. But then, you know, you don't say, "Oh, well, the cooking police said," or well, I'm going to do it this way, although it says just do whatever you want to do. Just do you, hunty. Hunty, just do you. MD, Meredith. You can't give your. I know. I hate those little fresh butts interfering in my life. So I have about 3 or 4 of these. If you guys hang with me, and I will be finished with these. Then I will go finish the collard greens to take to my mom tomorrow. Since I've been back, for those of you who just came in, I have been to see her 2 out of 2 weeks. Really difficult for me to make it there. But you know what? If and when something happens to my mother, I don't want the heavens to say, well, you had one more day to go visit your mother and you didn't do it. You were physically, mentally able, even if you didn't feel well the next day, go see your mama. So, guess what I'm going to do? tomorrow. Every Sunday I'm not able to. But tomorrow, and I rested up a little bit today. It's going to be hot next week, so I have three more freezies. It's going to be hot next week, so I'm going to water my garden really well. So I'm going to do that in the morning. Should have done it today, and I meant to, but I didn't want to be tired for today. Two more, down to my almost last one. Did anybody ask me anything? So we will be finishing this. Then this is what they call chain piecing. And what happened is I put one and one together to make twosies. This is a twosie. Then I went back and I had some of these same color scheme with the black and the yellow and the white and the tan, sort of neutral colors. And I actually like a 6-inch mug rug. It can be bigger. Sometimes I make placemats. I have one that I'm making for a neighbor. Oh, I wish I had used this one. Maybe I'll do one more because I don't know how many more of this fabric I have together. But it's only, is this a twosie? I will put it with this one. This is one that got tangled up last time and I put it together. Because you guys have heard of Christmas in July. Guess what? Christmas is in only 7 months. No, July, August, September, October, November, 5 months. So I make all the presents for my family and for others and for giveaways. I got to get going. Get going. Do any of you have any comments? Okay, Mother. Aguamote. I will see you tomorrow. I will be making Mother some calf liver. There's a baked sweet potato that doesn't match with anything. She doesn't even eat rice when I bring it to her. So I don't know whether to bring a mashed potato. Just chop the liver up and the collars and sweet potato. And she gave me some bananas. I think she wants some banana bread. So I'll bring her a slice. But I'm afraid to because her A1C count, we have to keep track of it. So, you guys, this is an American Sign Language. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let me play my little outro for you. So, you guys, in American Sign Language, this is an I. Oh, where's the little thingy? This is an L. This is a U. How to say, why are my fingers sticking up? Don't get old, you guys. The mind can't make the body do what it wants to. But let's end this. I will see you Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you were here, I would make you some tea and make you a coaster to take home. All right, Egawamate.